Taking shortcuts. Taking shortcuts is one of the challenges this country faces in many things. The project was non-compliant on 4 more floors, which had been added to the original approved designs, meaning from 12 to 16 floors. That is the beginning of the problem. Were professionals asleep? Did they miss important milestones? The developer has a responsibility as the owner. Giving details and update. And some of this information has come to you already, but it is important that cumulatively now I inform the nation and the people of Kenya where we are in terms of the recovery efforts that started as soon as this accident occurred. Happy New Year. I think it is still important that I ask that, although maybe for the residents and the families of the affected, it may not be really a happy beginning. Today, on Monday, the 5th of January, a multi-story building, this is the date that we are giving this press statement. Yeah. Okay, of course, this accident occurred on 2nd of January, and it is important to therefore appraise Kenyans on the work that has gone in, but suffice for me to say that a multi-sectoral building under construction in South C, Nairobi, near South C Shopping Center, where we are standing, and near Nairobi South Hospital, we experienced around 4 a.m., 2nd of January, early morning, that is early morning of that date. The building was a proposed mixed use development. I believe by now you know the developers. The building was registered by NCA, National Construction Authority, which is under the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development, within the State Department for Public Works. And that's why I'm here. I want to also recognize that Honorable Roko, who was supposed to be with me during this press conference, is still expected, and indeed stepped in during my absence and was able to brief the press twice. The building was registered therefore by NCA on 8th of November 2023, having met all statutory requirements in terms of proposed work and specifications. At the time of registration, all requisite or necessary approvals were in place, including a valid National Environmental Management Authority license, that is by NEMA. Also, Nairobi County Government approvals were in place, supported by a geotechnical investigation report. Project parties, it's important that I now confirm that the registered project team comprised the following parties. The developer is Abian Consulting Limited. Abian Consulting Limited. The architect in charge is Gideon Chege Mwangi, and his registration number is A2010. The structural engineer, and I'm aware he has been to this site after the incident, has been with the team, is engineer Peter Kimani, Kireru Peter Kimani, and his number is A3687. Quantity surveyor James Kireka QS, and his number is Q1126. I think the contractor is still Abian Consulting Limited, and their registration number has been given. The scope of this project and approved designs provided for 12 stories. I am sure you have already reported that. May I confirm that the approvals within my ministry are that this building is approved for 12 stories. The project was submitted to the National Construction Authority on 4th of November 2023, and I have the chairperson of the board of NCA with me, Mercy Okilo here, and I also have the CEO of NCA, Mr. Maurice Akech, Engineer Maurice Akech. Our records indicate that 4 quality assurance inspections were done or conducted during the construction period, with all entries marked as accepted, and the inspections were carried out as follows. The first one was on 7th of March 2024. The second one, and I mean quality assurance, the second one was done on 13th of August 2024. The third one, 19th August 2024, and the other one on 27th of August 2024. At the time of these inspections, the works were within approved scope. Notably, the quality assurance inspection confirmed that construction had reached the 3rd floor level, and the development was also situated among several comparable structures within these surrounding areas. At the time of the incident, the project was non-compliant on 4 more floors, which had been added to the original approved designs, meaning from 12 to 16 floors. That is the beginning of the problem. And we are investigating on that particular point, among other issues in terms of the work that was done, materials used, are they compliant? Following the incidents, the ministry immediately conducted a multi-sectoral agency consulting committee. When I say multi-sectoral, because for you to be able to work here, you need several government agencies, including the Office of the President, and I'm sure you can see the security teams and the commanders in charge of the operation. And then you also need disaster response teams, which are within, some of them are within the Ministry of Interior and Coordination. But you also need the National Construction Authority, or rather my ministry. So when we talk of the, and of course there are other professional bodies that we work with who are in charge of licenses of the quantity surveyors, structural engineers, basically the professionals in the building sector, engineers and all that. Those are part of the multi-sectoral teams, so that other than the ministry work, we also work with those professionals. And therefore, the multi-sectoral teams are in place and they are working together to give us the final issue that brought us to where we are, where it is suspected we may have lost 2 lives because 1 life is already confirmed. As at this time, I was saying that A total of 5 bulldozers are now in place. However, only 4 are operational due to constrained working space. We have enough equipment and the work has gone, I believe, fairly well, taking into account the area that we are operating at. And I have talked to the families and the community. They are satisfied with the progress and the handling of the site and the recovery efforts. At 2 p.m. on 4th of January, I want to confirm that 1 male body was recovered. We will give details of the names, the full names, later, once necessary identification is carried out with the assistance and involvement of the families. The site was visited immediately by the Cabinet Secretary who has just joined me of Public Service, Mheshimiwa Roko. The Governor also of Nairobi was here. The County Woman Rep, is good to recognize that she was also here, and they have given food stuff to support the family because they have to wait until we recover the remaining person. All built environment professional institutions are present on site. I am confirming they are present in site. I've been monitoring on daily basis, and I'm happy to confirm that the teams this particular time have taken their work at a higher professional notch. And you can see there are sensitive buildings surrounding us. Mheshimiwa karibu Waziri. The multi-sectoral team has collected samples from the affected site and are also processing a preliminary report on the probable cause of collapse. We will come later because also when you talk of multi-sectoral, you are not supposed to just agree like you are talking from one brain or one professional approach. They have to agree in terms of the report because each member of the multi-sectoral is playing a different role, all for the same work or to ensure that the report is well balanced in terms of the outcome. For sure, in this particular case, we are going to give you exactly what went wrong and who should take responsibility and what action will be taken against people found culpable and non-compliant, because so far I believe even from casual observation there are things that we can observe, but we will wait for the technical reports that will give us was the material the correct material that was used. Was the workmanship up to the standard? Were professionals asleep? Did they miss important milestones in terms of supervision? And if they did, what is the available penalty or punishment? And therefore, I don't want to go beyond the details in terms of what legal action will be taken, because even the legal actions will be advised after the report is issued. But I will confirm that I will support the proposal by the multi-sectoral team, agency team, in terms of way forward and holding people accountable. As a government, definitely we will hold people accountable. Those who failed us will be held accountable. And that you can take to the bank. The National Authority is empowered under its enabling statute. I was going on with my press statement. The National Construction Authority, number 41 of 2011, to undertake an inquiry. This being an agency within my ministry, the inquiry is already ongoing. Inquire into the collapse of this building pursuant to Section 22, and the board of the authority, and I said the chairperson is with me here, shall conduct an inquiry into the circumstances surrounding the building collapse in South Sea, Nairobi, for purposes of establishing whether the contractor or any other person bears any responsibility for the collapse, both civil and criminal responsibility. In terms of professional gaps and failure, they will have to bear responsibility. Once we get the findings and recommendations, then we will move forward with the necessary action. We have a new building code that supports professionals in their work, and therefore nobody should have an excuse. The developer has a responsibility as the owner. Guided by professionals, they ought not to have found themselves in the problem we are in. And I have said before that taking shortcuts is one of the challenges this country faces in many things. The inquiry shall be undertaken in collaboration with relevant statutory and enforcement agencies within the construction sector, including Engineers Board of Kenya, the Board of Registration of Architects, Quantity Surveyors, the county government, Directorate of Criminal Investigations, because they have a role, and that's the agency I'm talking about, the Office of the County Commissioner, and is also represented here, the Office of the Public Service, Minister C.S. Roko, you know, they are in charge of some of the operation work in terms of recovery. The ministry will additionally, through multi-agency team, conduct a compliance audit. You see, if you have been told you must use certain materials and you omit, then there is a compliance challenge or problem. And that is what we are saying. We will hold people accountable. I want this case to be a test case for us this year 2026. Kwa sababu imetuanza vibaya sana. It's the new year and we can't allow gaps and oversights and, you know, by people, omissions, not oversight, omissions that are technical but resort to loss of life and loss of property. We are lucky that this occurred at night. Possibly we would have suffered bigger loss in terms of lives. But you see, it occurred at night when the site was actually not having workers. And therefore, I just also want to thank God for that kind of eventuality, because finally this disaster would have hit the country very, very badly. It is still bad because we don't need to lose even one life. Even one life lost. We should mourn and take action. And I want to take this opportunity to pass my sincere condolences to the family of the person we have recovered. We still await, because it is suspected there is one more person. All indications is that there is one more person, because we have evidence that there were three. One person was able to escape. One person we have recovered. We still have not recovered the other person. And until we recover, we cannot say he was there or he was not there. That's why the best I can do is to say all indications and information from the family and from the workers that the person who was able to escape are that they could have been three people in the building before the collapse. Asante sana. Thank you very much. Any question? Yes. Before I give Mheshimiwa Roko?
Question was, question is, number one, has the developer come out to write a statement, or have you invited the developer to come and write a statement? And two, the collapse, were it not for the building collapsing, perhaps it could have passed and it could have stayed, and then the tenants would have come in and life continues. So are there concerns or are there fears that there are those kinds of buildings built, normally they are operating, but they've constructed in the manner which this building was built?
Okay, I would not join you to spread fear, but obviously we have had a few cases, maybe similar cases, and that's why we have regulatory bodies, that's why we have administrative bodies, that is why we have coordination bodies, and whenever we, first and foremost, every construction is supposed to be supervised by professionals. No building comes up without registration of this size, without registration by NCA. And that is why we are able to regularly come to site to give quality assurance certificates or go ahead at different stages of the construction. And therefore, I know that we are working quite well. We have a new instrument, the building code, that provides us with better supervisory and regulatory and implementation guidelines. But when a building is going down, and we have been able to catch up several, one in Mombasa, another one here in Nairobi, and even this, if they had followed the approved guidelines and licenses, possibly we wouldn't have gone the way we went. However, I don't want to preempt because I have technical teams that will tell me whether the developer should actually do a statement. You know, we don't want to preempt. You want a thorough job. But I have read out the parties, and those parties that are concerned here, all of them will give their statements at the right and appropriate time. So lazima tuingie kwa undani. We will make sure that we do that. Any other questions?
Madam CS, two questions. Number one,
yeah.
You've told us your team, the ones from the Ministry of Public Works, they did 4 inspections. What happens when you get a developer who is not abiding by the rules? What action do you take as a ministry to stop such construction? And number two, there's been a lot of confusion on the floors. Your colleague CS Rocco had talked of it was a 14th floor. There was talk of 16, 15 from the county. Maybe you just clarify on that, because there's a bit of confusion on how many.
Okay, I believe we are not here to, we should not rush to give information. I'm now giving information as the minister in charge in terms of compliance through NCA. They have been here before. They have approval records for 12 floors. They don't have any other approval record for any floor, whether 2 or 3. According to the report I have, is that 4 floors were being added or were added, and therefore, and we will be able to tell by end of it all, we will, because I think there are also some records at the county government, because you know planning, which is within my ministry, has delegated largely through the law to county governments, and therefore they have a major role to play. And if for any reason there is need to change the building plans, then the office of the NCA, the office of the physical planner, director of physical planner in the country, national director of physical planning, is supposed to be updated. So far, I do not have records of the extra. So the next question is, what will you do if a contractor or a developer is not complying? Of course, he should be prosecuted. And the penalties, we do not have very good penalty punishment regulations, and we are in the process of amending. In fact, my draft for amendment of the NCA Act is ready, so that supporting it with the new building code, we will be in a better place to work on this log, on the log contractors, log developers. Indeed, you know, the regulations, the code largely talks about contractors, engineers, developers escape under the guise of they have given to professionals. But you see, a developer can come here and change course and avoid professionals. So we are amending the law so that the developers can squarely be within the act, and we regulate them the same way we are regulating contractors. We will deregister contractors. I will deregister if I'm told that the contractor was the problem. I will deregister the contractor. I will suspend the license of the architect if I find through the report that he went 3 other floors or 1 extra floor without approval by NCA. I'm gonna deregister them. Because BORAX is the board of registration of architects and surveyors, quantity surveyors and surveyors. So I will deregister.
Okay, Madam CS,
Yeah.
there's another question.
The last one?
Okay. There have been allegations that NCA had faulted this building and said it should not go on. That's allegations we've had from Friday, where it is said that you had declared that the building was not fit to go on. Is that still the position? Or?
That report should wait the final report. Let us not preempt useful information, because anything I say here can also be prejudicial and be cited to exonerate runaway rogues. So I want to beg that I get the full, by end of today, we expect that we will finalize the evacuation, the recovery and rescue effort or work that is remaining. And I'm sure in another 2 days, I'll be able to answer that question with precision. Any other? Nataka Mheshimiwa Ruko, yes. The last one.
Exactly. As at the time of the operation, CS updated that there were 2 security guards. One already confirmed dead. Not so sure about the other one. What's the name of the security firm? What are they saying? When you reach out the family of the 2, any contact from them?
Okay.
2, is it true that with the update we got from yesterday, because the media doesn't want to look bad, what is the true position? Did they mislead Waziri yesterday to provide incorrect information?
Waziri is here, and I'm sure he is capable of answering and clarifying that particular point. But I had said, if you followed me, I said there is the information we have, there is a probability that there is a second person who actually, most efforts here now are to recover that person. We have an indication as to around where he would be. That is one. About which security firm they belong to and whether they gave correct information or whether they are insured or not, I would rather that becomes part of the final report. It's good to say that we have recovered one person. I will not give the names. I have met the family, the parents of that person. I'm told he has some children also. And so he was in the process, he was in the course of duty. And I think that is enough information. The second person, if for sure he did not escape, if he was on duty, we shall get the full details. And then, because I'm also advisor, they are relatives. The 2 are relatives. And therefore, we will want to give you full details of those people. You know, we have to be also very sensitive to the family. And you know, identification of persons are done by doctors and family members. They are the ones who are able to say, this is our person, and then the medical report, the medical doctor will then confirm whether that person is alive or not. I don't know whether, is your question answered?
The name of the security firm?
No, leave that one. Leave that one. And if the security firm was there, we will get those details.
It's a clarification, not a question.
But the site, 1 minute, the site belongs to the developer. Any security person or firm that was employed is the responsibility of the developer. So I think we are safe with that information.
This is a clarification. For inspections that were done by the team from the Public Works, after they came and saw there's a problem, what action did they take? Just that?
No, I didn't say I said the 4 were okay. But now,
yes.
on the collapse of this, they found extra floors that were not part of our records. Yeah.
Is there a systematic period within which you do the inspections? Because you mentioned severally the issue of non-compliance. So was it an issue of negligence from the inspection authority?
I think the media is jumping the gun. Issues of negligence are technical issues also, and evidence. Let us get the full report. I think it is sufficient for me to say we will not exonerate. We shall not spare any person found by the technical people. Report given to me through the multi-agency team that is here working. Let me not preempt their work, but be assured that we shall not exonerate. We will implement the report, and we shall insist that the report is accurate and correct. Of course, between myself and Roko and the professional multi-agency teams, we will be able to give the media and the public the correct position. Thank you. Mheshimiwa.
Maswali yote waziri amejibu, si ndio? Kwa hivyo mimi sina maneno mingi. It's only to say this remains an operation area and safety of those who are working on the recovery mission should be secured. Anybody who is involved in this operation, the safety is key. Therefore, it remains an operation area. As we directed yesterday, the school, which is here, remain closed for now until we are done with the recovery mission. We continue to send our sympathies to the families of the affected, and the government stand with the families of the affected. And as we said yesterday also, we will stand with the family in terms of all the costs which are associated as a government. Finally, we expect to be done by tomorrow as far as the recovery mission is concerned. And once we are able to get or to recover the Kenyan who we are suspecting is still under the rubble, then we'll be able to clear the road, and other protocols as far as the recovery and identification mission is concerned will be undertaken by the relevant government institutions. As the Minister for Public Works and Housing has said, all the technical questions on what happened, as we said yesterday, will be answered by relevant institutions. And I'm sure the Minister and our team are very competent and will give us that information. For now, is to continue with the recovery mission, is to continue asking all people in this area of South Sea to remain calm, to bear with us, so that we can finish this operation soonest possible. We know and we thank all the teams, the multi-agency team from the National Disaster Management Unit, led by Dr. Duncan, the National Disaster Operation Center, National Youth Service, Kenya Defence Forces, Red Cross, the South Sea Fraternity, and all other teams which are involved in this mission. We continue to thank them for their commitment, dedication to this service. The President of Kenya is very well briefed as far as the recovery mission is concerned. He is updated, and he has directed all of us to ensure we get out of the site when we can account for all those who have been affected. And he sent his sympathies and the condolences to the families of those of the one body we recovered that is standing with the family and any other person affected. We thank Kenya Power for reconnecting the houses around with power. I'm sure now they can be able to go on with their day-to-day activities without missing power in the houses. Thank you.
We have another update at 4.
Sorry?
You have another update at 4 as usual.
As we said, we'll be updating you in the morning and at 4 p.m. We expect to be having another update at 4 p.m. And if there's no update, also we will communicate. Thank you so much. And thank you for your cooperation, the effort you are making to inform Kenyans on exactly what is happening here. Thank you so much.